Well, it's 24 hours after the finish of the first round of Festival State Cup here in Adelaide, and I think I had to wait a little bit to do this outro. I was just mentally and physically knackered after a massive weekend. By the time I got home, I'm 90 minutes plus away, unpack, start to get everything ready. It's a big weekend. Well, look, we'll start off with a bit of a intro and outro. I'd had 5 to 6 months away from karting just due to a heap of stuff going on. Plus, tore my left MCO and had like a bake assist behind it. So that kind of really put a halt to things to me getting in the kart. And then plus over Christmas, I got the kart rebuilt. I'll chuck some photos in and around here, wherever we're going to put them, of the car getting stripped down, frame getting powder coated, fresh sticker kit, fresh seals and everything to go with it. I kept Craig busy over the Christmas period, so it come back looking like really fresh and exceeded any expectations I had to have a look at for this season. So from there, look, a quick summary. Like, I had done I'd done maybe 30 to 20 laps of Monado about a month out from this event, which means jack shit for Barossa because they're two different tracks, but just to get back in the car and have a feel for it, done actually these ones around Barossa, and I was nervous as hell going up there because I know how demanding the track is from spinning the tools the year prior for our mate Joshy Russ that was in Tag Light. And quick congratulations to Josh, another third. Second year in a row he's got third up there, mate. That's awesome, and he bloody battled hard for it. But I was not sure what to expect. I was expecting to be at the back of the pack, finishing that end last, not having any speed, and I was quite happy with setting that goal and just getting back into things. But out the back of the trailer this kart rolled out, and first practice session on like some stuffed old tyres, I think, pumped out at 26, and the next session was a 25.9, I reckon. Then it went 25 sevens. So, and then mind you, the guys up like the top of the field were doing like 25 ones, 25 twos, 25 flats, who've spent time around the track because it's so technical. The lap's so small that a big time gap is huge across the whole circuit. And then missed the third session to save some energy, and then qualifying went out on a brand new set of rubber. Now mind you, this rubber is completely different to the rest of the new rubber we've experienced because the compound's changed again. And strung an awesome lap together. I can't really say much more than that. I think I pumped out a 25.3-4 maybe. Definitely so much more in that lap as well after watching it back a bit more. I've got heaps more time left, and I could easily be down close to that 25 flat, I reckon, with good rubber on there, which puts me right up in the mix. Then for qualifying, that put me P5, which was, like I said, blew me away with where I finished, and missed out on P4, I think, by 0.025 maybe. To guys that are like, we're talking a guy that's had well more experience than me as well, and then the rest of the fast guys were either high 24s and 25 flats, like Kyle, Pete and Jack that come across from Tassie, so we couldn't get close to them. But huge accomplishment for me. I thought that was awesome. So review heat 1 started obviously P5, lost some spots, made some passes, witnessed some absolute chaos. You will see on the bumper cam coming up some stuff I never thought I'd see myself witnessing on a kart driving into another kart, but you'll see the footage and what I mean. So started 5th, lost some spots, ended up finishing 5th. Thought that was a good recovery and good start to the weekend. Heat 2 was straight on Saturday as well at the end. Now we're getting towards the end of the day, and it was starting to become a bit overcast. Weather come over. We're all sitting, 90% of us are on the outgrid except for one bloke. It starts raining. Like, we're talking spitting. We jack the pressures up on the grid because you're not really meant to touch the kart bar pressures. Jack them up a fair bit because we couldn't do anything bar that because we had slicks on. And then it started to come down like heavy, and then all of a sudden one guy at the rear of the field showed up and with like 2 minutes to go with wets on, and we all knew it was going to be chaos. So you'll see some great fun for session number 2 in the rain of all of us just skating for all those laps. It was probably the most sketchiest thing and the most funnest session I've ever had, and probably the only time I'll ever actually want the checkered flag. That was some serious fun. So come third heat for Sunday, first session on. Started 5th, lost a couple of spots on the start because I gave Pete, who was in front of me, my mate, some room because I didn't want to collide him. Got tagged on the start, ended up crossed up, lost the spots. Made those spots back, had heaps good pace. Like, I started to really battle it out and started to close that gap to that top 4. And then coming into the last turn, the kart compression locked and turned me around and put me back into the gravel. What happened was a chain exploded. Lo and behold, it was actually a engine bolt. One of 3 engine bolts were loose. Obviously sent the alignment off, and over time of me hitting the curbs, it just got worse and worse and worse. Bent the sprocket carrier and the sprocket, so the sprocket was, instead of straight, was more like that, which exploded the chain. So that was the end of my race. I DNF on lap I think 9 out of 10, so I was peaking. Like, that was I was on spot for another 5th finish. So in between heat 3 and the final, obviously I didn't realise that was what the issue was, but Craig, obviously pitting next to us, did some investigating, find out, had the whole engine off, everything tightened. It was, my kart was virtually back to a bare frame, and he got it all ready with 5 minutes to spare for the final. And the final, I just had to go out and just push as hard as I could and roll up my sleeves. Started, I think, on a combined 7th, if you add all the points together, or however they bloody work it out. So started 7th out of 11th, and made up, I think, 1 or 2 spots, I'm pretty sure. Like, it was some hard battling and some good moves. Like, I, without sounding too silly about it, like, I really just stayed back and started to study people's spots and weaknesses in the track, which was a bit more mature than what I'd normally be out there and just trying to get out there and send every spot. I started to really try to develop some racecraft. So I found some big openings and, on some pretty non-existent maneuvers. So we invented that, and that was all good. And had some fun in doing it, and the guys had a good laugh afterwards at some of the moves on how they didn't expect me to be there. But did that, finished back in, I think, 5th for the final, and I think in total that left me, I think, 6th for the weekend overall or something like that for points for the championship. So look, the championship's well out of grasp for me. I'm just there just to have some fun and get better and better each week. But to have such a positive start for the first season, I don't even know what to say. I'm exceeded any expectations, considering thanks to Pete as well for giving me a wrap all week, and then we end up having a blinder of a weekend, so that was pretty good. Look, I won't bore you with too much talking. The next one is, I believe, in March. It's been brought forward a couple of weeks at Bolivar. They've extended the track and everything. It looks pretty pro town, so can't wait to get out there and do some testing. But quickly wrapping up with some thank yous, starting with Craig. As always, mate, without you, I couldn't have got back to the final. Thank you for dropping everything and assisting us, mate, and being able to get us out of the shit. That's why we continue to come back. Pete and Dante, mate, boys, thank you very much for everything, for the help, the constant ribbing, everything, mate. It's what makes the weekend so enjoyable. Just so awesome, and to have a close mate in the class, and we be able to battle it out and have some fun as well, and we're pretty respectful of each other out on track is awesome. Kyle Booth and Paul Pittham, boys, thank you so much for everything over the weekend, all your tips, help, like Kyle helping out on with the engine apart and everything as well, and some tips and advice. Same with Paul, mate, I appreciate your brutal honesty on how useless I was last round. I know we had a good laugh at that, but mate, can't wait to work for sort all my shit out and be able to get a bit better and squeeze that gap up to the top. And lastly, Jake, who you see helping on the tools all the time, mate. Without this, none of this is possible in the background. Doesn't mean shit if I've got it sitting in the van now or anything, mate. Like, I can't do this without him, and it's a humbling experience to have another extremely close mate be able to help me, but volunteers time and is just happy to be around it. As long as 196s are flowing afterwards, he's happy to be there. But yeah, Jake, thank you very much, mate. I know you say it's okay, but it's massive for you to dedicate your time, mate, to this and help us achieve something that's such a selfish motorsport. Again, other than that, guys, look, I apologise, this video's a bit backwards. Mate, we just concentrated on racing this weekend, on trying to get there. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Any comments or anything, fire away down the bottom. If there's anything you've noticed with the driving at Barossa, or if you saw me, yell out. Quick shout out to the rest of the guys in the class and a few new people I've met. It was awesome being able to put some faces to names and stuff and have a good laugh. The group is just such an awesome group in this weight class that we can all have a laugh and then race pretty hard out on track, and we're all laughing about it afterwards. So that's an awesome thing to have as well. You don't really get that in motorsport. And we will see you guys in, I believe it's end of March. Hopefully nothing too heavy changes with the kart in the back there. It's come back pretty unscathed, bar a set of tyres and needing a new engine mount now, but we'll get that all sorted and get cracking at this new extension on the track and hopefully have some more good results. Alright guys, until next time,